What the hell do you guys want? What are you doing in my house? Get out of my house.
Yeah, that sounds like a haunting movie. Just a family moves into a new.
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
There we go.
A family moves into a haunted house, and it's just possessed by ghosts doing a podcast.
We're watching a show right now. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay. We're watching a show called Ghost, and before that, we were watching School Spirit.
I haven't.
School Spirits.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
I love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, we were watching that first, and then the season's not over, but we haven't got the new episode out yet.
Yeah.
And so then we're like, well, what do we do with our time? What do we do with our lives? So then we started looking, and we found another ghost story just called Ghosts, and it's kind of a comedy.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Fallon and I started watching that.
Oh yeah.
And there's an episode where you get the backstory of the Boy Scout ghost.
Yeah.
That one was emotional.
Arrow guy.
Yeah, that was very emotional.
Yeah. They've all been pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
have not watched Ghost yet. Ghosts?
Ghosts.
Ghosts. Yeah.
There's Ghosts US and Ghosts UK.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah. I'm watching the U.S. version.
yeah. All right. Well, we ready to start this thing?
Sure. Let me get into my stuff here. How do you say your last name?
First Stinger.
First Stinger.
Yes.
Yeah.
First Stinger.
Yeah. Not the second stinger, but the first stinger.
God.
First Stinger.
Yeah.
Which I think is what my letterbox account is.
Yes.
First Chance.
Yeah. Oh, you have these. Gosh, you have these separated into Oscar categories.
Well, I tried to, but then you can't, if there's multiple nominees in the same category for the same film, you can't add it again.
Oh, interesting.
Can you make sure? Can you touch the phone and make sure that it says it's recording?
Well, it says pause recording, stop recording.
Okay,
So
okay.
there's no start recording.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Well,
All right. Let's do it.
Let's start this podcast. Here we
Do
go.
All right. Welcome to My Dad's Movie Podcast. I'm Mick Johnson. I'm the dad. And with me, as usual, my son, Tabor.
Yeah, you were queuing me up. I never know what's going to happen on these intros, but got some crazy news.
Talk to me.
I'm the dad now too.
What does that mean?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No.
My
Like,
gosh.
congratulations.
This is where I find out.
Yeah, on the podcast. I was saving it just for this. No, I'm absolutely kidding. No, nope. But we found one of our ferrets, so that's good news.
That's good.
Like it was lost for a while?
Yeah, he was lost for a couple hours.
Oh, well, okay. Well, whatever.
He fell asleep in some crevice and then came out when he got hungry. And,
Right. Yeah, you weren't going to lose him for very long.
Yeah, exactly.
So with us, we also have a special guest, Chance Firstinger.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You got it.
I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, when we started looking for guests, you were one of the first names that popped up into my, mental Rolodex. And then when I reached out to you, I was going to say, hey, so were you still interested in coming on the podcast? And I was like, oh, this is the first time I'm asking him. Like, I haven't sent that out yet. So I was like, oh, shoot. Well, now.
So you just kind of thought you did?
Yeah, I thought I sent him a message and I hadn't. So when I reached out to him, that was the first he's hearing about it. And so.
That's so funny.
So did you say yes?
I did. Yeah, I did say.
Nice.
Actually, no. He just brought me here under duress. I just
Yeah.
Get in there and talk.
Welcome to My Dad's Hostage podcast.
It was funny because like right around the time I was like, oh, I hope I get to do one of those episodes. Like a couple days later, you had messaged me.
Really?
I was like, oh, sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that you're listening to it. So what do we've got at least 3 people I know of
Yeah.
that
There
are
you go.
listening to the show, which is cool.
You got to start somewhere.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You got to start somewhere.
I should probably start listening to it.
Yeah.
Then we'll have 4.
I literally do not listen to episodes that I have edited. Like as soon as I'm done editing, I never listen to it again.
Sick of it.
Yeah. Ones that you edit, I'll be like, ooh, I haven't heard this in a while. Let me re-listen to it. But anything I edit, I'm never again.
Yeah, when I'm out
Because you're already listening to it like
over and over and over.
Oh yeah, you get kind of tired of it. But even after I get it done and then I put it out, like when I'm at work or something, I'll go back and I'll start listening to the episodes to make sure that, okay, well, it loaded right, that I didn't miss anything, those types of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny is that's the only podcast you listen to.
Yeah.
Is ours. You don't listen to, I tried getting him to listen to others to kind of give him an idea, and he's like,
Screw
I
them.
don't care what they're doing.
I don't
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I like you guys.
Yeah.
So, Chance, what brings you around? What are we talking about tonight?
Well, we're talking about a Norwegian director, Joachim Trier.
We've never talked about a Norwegian director yet, have we?
Yeah.
Nope. Japanese, and I think that's it so far. I don't think
Okay.
we've done much foreign film, which
Right.
I've talked about this before. I don't know if you listened to the Godzilla episode, but I have to be coaxed into watching foreign films. I do not look at all the movies that are available, see a foreign film, and go, "Ooh, I want that one." Someone has to say, "Dude, you got to see this."
Yeah.
And when I watch it, I always enjoy it. So I don't know why I'm so resistant to foreign films, but every time I watch them, I enjoy them.
Yeah.
Something from your childhood, maybe.
Yeah. Or the current political climate. Who knows?
Politics. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like I definitely enjoy seeing a foreign film more in the theater than I do at home.
Really?
Because at home, like, there's something about being in the theater where I'm like, okay, yep, this is what I'm doing for the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. But when I'm at home, I'm like, I could be doing laundry, I could be whatever, but I can't because I have to read.
Yeah.
I've paid for this. Now I'm
Yeah.
sitting.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. So reading is always kind of like the biggest hurdle for a lot of people in foreign films. And I watched both of these today
Oh yeah.
because I would like to spread out the movies throughout the week, but I work so much, and then I've been also doing the IFF,
Oh yeah.
which has been keeping me super busy. So today I watched all of them, which is a lot of movies to watch in
A lot of
one
foreign
day.
film in
Yeah.
one sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
But I noticed that about halfway through the first movie, the burden of reading subtitles disappeared, and then with the second film, right into it, like no problem. And then luckily bounced back and forth between English, but at that point I hardly noticed that they were switching back.
Yeah.
At one point I was just like, oh hey, they're speaking in English again.
So I watched The Worst Person in the World. I did watch that one a couple days ago. I have not seen the other one.
Oh man, no.
Yeah.
So you should have reversed it.
I know.
I think you would have liked the second one way better.
Yeah, that one had Skarsgård.
Yeah. Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest trouble with foreign films is I can't stand reading. Now, luckily, these weren't like action packed,
Right.
so I wasn't like missing a ton while I was trying to see what they were saying. But still, I hate having to read and look and read and look.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just rewatched The Worst Person in the World today. I hadn't seen it for a while, and I watched Sentimental Value a couple weeks ago. I was gonna rewatch it again today. I just didn't get around to it. But
It's in the Oscars this year, right?
yes, it is.
I think didn't it? When is the Oscars?
It's next month. It's in March.
17th.
Oh, is
I
it?
think, or 15th.
Okay,
Yeah, 15th.
so it's probably nominated for a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's up for like Best Picture, Best Actress, Supporting Actor, 2 Supporting Actress, Screenplay, Director,
Man,
Editing, and International Film.
nice.
Nice.
So, you are a big follower of the Oscars.
Yeah.
I every year I notice that you get really geared up for the Oscars, and you're watching every single one of these movies, analyzing them thoroughly. How often has the best international film been nominated for Best Picture?
That's a great question. I think the very first one was, or at least, this century was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay.
And
nice.
then ever since they went up to 10 films, which they did 10 in the 40s for a couple of years, and then they went down to 5, and then I think in 2010 they went back up to 10, and pretty much ever since then there's been at least one that's been nominated. The last couple of years there's been like 2.
Okay.
So there's 2 this
So
year.
it's not as uncommon as
It's not as uncommon
as it used to be. Yeah, I didn't know that. I guess I haven't paid close enough attention because my favorite movie is The Godfather, and so I'm always watching like those old Oscar speeches and stuff like that. And there's always five nominations, and I guess I haven't been paying close enough attention. I did not realize that they've bumped it up now.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I mean, more movies, the better. And I think the foreign representation is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think I probably already missed the boat, but next year I think I'm going to pay more attention to the Oscars. And, it was the Olympics this year.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
There's
the
always
Olympics,
next year.
yeah, so next year it'll be.
And it's always like super hard because the like awards season when the big awards contenders are coming out is usually the end of the year. So it's hard to try to like get them all in. I try to make an effort every year to get through everything there. I think there's only been 2 years where I was able to watch everything before the Oscars, including like the documentaries and the shorts and stuff. Which normally I'm not a big documentary person. But
Yeah.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Okay. So Tabor's thing is kind of the horror genre.
Yeah.
What are you kind of?
I it's really kind of I mean, I love horror. But like it just kind of depends on my mood, what I'm into. Like
Little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
What'd you think of Longlegs?
I really liked Longlegs.
I love that movie so much. It's so silly and
just like Nicolas Cage just commits, doesn't he?
oh, he's so perfect in that. I love watching him freak out behind the steering wheel. And
Yeah.
That's every movie.
I know. But
Nicolas Cage freaking out.
Yeah. That every so often, when the family's in town, we all sit down in the living room and watch the Nicolas Cage freak out compilation. So, what is your what's your best picture pick
For
this year?
for this year, my favorite is Hamnet, directed by Chloe Zhao.
Okay.
And I kind of went into it with low expectations because I didn't really care for Nomadland, and I vehemently disliked Eternals.
That one sounds familiar.
was
No
the-
Man
the-
Land sounds very
yeah,
familiar, but the other one sounds a little.
Yeah, Eternals is in the MCU.
Oh,
And
okay,
it was just kind of
that's
like
right.
and it just like it's very just like slow and like and she's so good at like capturing like the landscape and everything. Like she's got just a stunning like just visual like in all of her films, but they're very slow. And so like going into a superhero movie,
that does
I'm
not
like,
lend well to Marvel.
no, it does not. It does not. So I kind of like went in with a little low expectations, and then I watched Hamnet, and I was just like, I sobbed at the end of the film, and I sobbed so hard that like my entire body hurt for like 2 hours
Good
after.
grief.
Holy mackerel.
It was just
Do you want us to cut this part
gorgeous-
out?
No, you can keep it in. You can
Okay.
keep it in.
Hey, listen, we don't have to put this in. We can get rid of all this.
No, I want everybody to see Hamnet. I try not to like overhype things because I want people to enjoy the things that I enjoy. But I loved
Yeah,
it. And then
that's interesting. You can overhype something and it'll turn somebody completely off.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
Like-
caught Sinners like right as it was
Getting that hype.
Getting that, I was like, I got to see this now because everybody's loving it, and if it gets too much further, I'm gonna hate
gonna
it.
hate it when
And
you
I
go-
loved it. I
Oh,
loved
I
it.
love
Yeah.
Sinners. I showed it to
Yeah, we
My
just
mom-
watched it the other day.
my brother showed it to him first, and then I showed it to my mom, and he sat in, and so he watched it again, and yeah, it's that was one of those movies where I was crying.
Yeah.
Cut that.
It's a very close second for me for best picture.
Yeah,
to
and
Hamnet.
that freaking scene where Remick is doing the river dance. Oh, that I like.
So good.
If I don't have time to watch the movie, I'll just pull up that video and just watch.
Just that part.
Yeah,
right?
he's such a great villain, and super charismatic. And yeah,
And I know Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters is probably going to win Best Song, but it should be, what is it? I Lied to You from Sinners.
Is that the one at the end?
That's the one kind of in the middle when it's like all the generations of
Yes.
like that should be
Oh.
that's such an incredible
so
song.
good.
It's such a good piece.
yeah, the boy is singing.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you
that's a
see
fantastic song.
the guy with the electric guitar
right.
and the DJ scratching. It's such a
Right.
cool. I love that scene is incredible.
Yeah,
and I
so
love
good.
that song. But my favorite song is the one at the end where they're in the bar and he's like, that was the. I still wake up having nightmares of that night, but it was the best day of my life until the sun went down. And that song that's playing,
Yeah.
makes me super emotional.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Sinners tonight.
That's what it sounds like.
Surprise, Ryan Coogler, not Joachim Trier.
Yeah. So it's Joachim?
Joachim, yeah. Yeah.
I thought
Or I think it's Joachim.
Joachim.
I was trying to listen to pronunciations of it.
Because I was saying Joachim.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, and then I was like, okay, I better get this right.
Yeah, because in Mexico it would be
Right.
Joaquim, but
Right.
In different countries it's said differently.
Right. And we're not in Mexico, so.
No,
Yeah.
not
We're
anymore.
So before we get to the movie and the director, so how do you guys know each other? You do some acting. You're like local to the Boise area.
Yeah,
Right? And
I do a lot of acting, a lot of filmmaking. Tabor and I worked together on a short film a few years ago. Was it just one short film?
We've only done one together.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything I directed or wrote. It was Elizabeth Finley's movie.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were my favorite character in that one. Just you were the governor, right?
Oh no, we have worked on two because there was that one and then there was the vampire one.
Oh,
Right?
Vampires Anonymous.
Yeah, Vampires Anonymous.
Both Finley movies.
Yes, both Finley movies. Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage was in that one.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So-
Having a freak out.
So I need to double check. Your leg wasn't one of the ones that my brother grabbed, right? Because he was grabbing people's legs a lot during
No.
Finley's movies.
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't know
recall.
about this story.
he was under the desk. It was Nicholas. He was under the desk.
Of course it was.
recording sound. And then during one of the takes, he just grabbed the actor's leg and went, and just like right in the middle of the take. And
Yeah.
Finley's like, okay, I'm not using him ever again.
All you had to say was Nicholas, and
Yeah.
I knew exactly what was happening.
Yeah, he was doing his little duende routine.
Right.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Nope. It's not
So that
me.
wasn't you. Okay. Good. I'm glad. So we don't have to worry about that.
So it has been two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You DP'd both of them. I was in one of them, and then I AD'd the vampire one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
So you prefer being in front of the camera, or you prefer being behind the camera?
It really depends. They activate such different parts of the brain.
No kidding.
Like when I'm acting, I love acting. That's all I want to do. And then when I'm directing, I love directing, and that's all I want to do. I like producing, but when I'm producing, that's not all I want to do. Because it's so stressful.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure that everything is going right, and everybody's having a good time. Like everything's like volunteer here, right? So it's like I want to make the most of people's time and want to make sure that
Yeah, you want to keep them happy.
Yeah, keep everybody happy, make sure things are going right, and then so like I'm actively trying to take all the stress away from everybody. And then,
Yeah. And then it falls on your shoulders.
yeah, and then it falls on my shoulders.
It's so funny is that we're filming our IFF this year, and I saw one of the actors just sitting on the couch, just looking bored, just scrolling through his phone. And I'm like, that is a luxury I cannot afford. And then I'm just like, man, look at him go. Anyway, I got to go move this light and then move this camera because, I'm my own DP, I'm my own gaffer, I'm directing it. So...
See, and then when I'm in that boat and I see an actor looks bored, I'm like, what can I do to make their experience better? What can I do?
Yeah. No, they want to be bored. They don't.
Right?
They,
Yeah.
they want to do their take and then they want to go relax.
Right.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
eat their breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Joe Estevez.
Joe Estevez.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we've worked on a couple things, and every so often, I'll be at a festival, and then I'll see Chance was in something. I was like, oh, I should have asked Chance. I'm just like, I should have asked him.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I kind of operate the exact opposite way of a lot of the filmmakers here in Boise. They already know which actors they want to work with. They already know which locations they want to use, and they write around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm like, well, I don't know what my story's going to be yet. So I'll sit down and I'll write the story, and I'll go through several drafts. And then when I finally have the story perfect, I'll be like, great, I know exactly who I want. And they've already been picked. And you can't use them again because you would disqualify them for awards.
Oh.
So I have to go and find out, okay, well, who's still available?
Yeah.
And work around that.
Yeah.
Which most times it doesn't hurt me at all.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, well, whoever was available, they worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So are you working on something for the Cody Newton thing?
I am. I wrote something in January, I think, and just have not had a chance to do it. So I think I'm tabling that and going to do something that's going to be a little simpler.
mine was really complex this year and a lot of moving parts, and it's been very stressful.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'm going to take it easy next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been directing a play, and then just have just not really
That's a lot.
had my evenings free to, and then so I think I'm like Jen Potcher and I are going to do a sequel to our Age 48.
Oh, nice. Okay. I worked with Jen yesterday.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. She was my nurse for my film.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And
That's what she needed the scrubs for.
Yeah.
She and I do the scenario acting for the nursing students at BSU.
Gotcha. Okay.
And she was like, I need scrubs.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, I got scrubs. And I was like, okay, cool. That really works. So, but we didn't end up getting a hospital for that. So that's a bummer.
As you were saying, I tend to write for locations and stuff that I know that I can for sure get a hold of. I tend to, and I don't like shooting anything outside because, there's always
Especially for IFF because it's in the middle of winter.
Right. It's in the middle of winter.
This is the first IFF where I haven't lost a finger due to frostbite. So it's been really nice.
Huh.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well,
Joachim.
Joachim.
No.
Joachim Trier.
Yeah.
so what do you guys know about him?
Absolutely
As a
nothing.
director.
This was
You picked him.
I did.
I
Yes.
hope you know something about him.
Yes.
This is my introduction to him, and I was pleasantly surprised.
He was born on March 1st. I can't remember the year, 1976.
Hold
maybe?
on. Let me look. March 1st, 1974.
74. It's 2 years off. In Denmark, I think.
Yep.
And there was some other stuff that I knew that I don't remember now.
And
All right.
And at some
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Very short episode.
So, born in Denmark, Danish-Norwegian filmmaker. His mother was Hildy, and his father is Jacob Trier.
Is that spelt with a K?
No, it was a C.
No, I dang it. I thought it was going to be a K, and I bet wrong.
Oh,
Put it all on black.
yes, it is a K. Funny enough.
Jacob.
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to help you out with this.
Okay. Anyway, you were saying.
Yes. Let's see. I've got that he was a sound technician, notable film produced in Norway. Oh, he worked on a film in Norway as a sound technician, which was kind of cool. Yeah, and there wasn't a ton of information on Joachim.
That's really weird because sometimes you come to these episodes and you have pages
I know.
of stuff to talk about.
I've got
and
3 or 4 sentences here, and that's about it.
he was born, he's in movies,
So
and let's move on.
One of the things that I read was that he's been described as a melancholy director. He's concerned with existential questions of love, ambition, memory, identity, those types of things.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I only watched the one show, but I looked at a lot of the other stuff that he did. I think he has, it's called the Oslo trilogy.
Which I just learned that today. I didn't realize that The Worst Person in the World was the third movie in
Yeah.
that trilogy.
It's listed as the last one. First one was Reprise in 2006. The other one was Oslo, August 31st. in 2011.
And
So-
all three of those star the same gentleman. Let me pull up his
Yes. Anders Danielson Lee
name. Yes.
Is the actress
is the actor. The actress is Renate Reinsva.
right? But is she in all three also?
No, she was in Oslo. She was in the second one, and then obviously The Worst Person in the World.
Okay.
But she had, I think, 2 lines of dialogue in Oslo, August 31st. And then something I found out was that she was getting ready to quit acting and become a carpenter full time. When he approached her about The Worst Person in the World and was like, "I'm writing this for you."
Right.
Wow.
And then
Man, that's
because there's like a 10, and she like did a lot of work in between, but there was like a 10-year gap
In between those two.
But in between those two,
that's so funny as you hear that happen a lot to
Yeah.
people where they were just almost done.
Yeah.
And then something comes along and that's what keeps them.
Right.
There was an example that I was reading the other day. I'm trying to remember who it was. Gosh, it was someone very notable, and they were just like, "I'm done. I'm not going to do it anymore." And then they Corleoned him and pulled him back in. So hopefully, I can figure out who that was. But
We'll stick it in.
yeah, we'll
later.
stick it in a post. Yeah.
So that Carpenter thing, I think, isn't in the movie The Worst Person in the World. I think there's reference to that. I think that's one of her lines.
yeah, she says she quits becoming a surgeon because it's too close to carpentry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of funny that she wasn't going to quit to be wasn't going to quit to be a surgeon or something, but she was going to be a carpenter.
Yeah.
So these other movies that he did before that are in the trilogy, were they pretty successful? Do you know?
They didn't get. I don't think they got any like international acclaim, at least not over here. But I think.
Worst Person in the World was nominated for 2
Yeah.
Academy Awards.
Yeah, Worst Person in the World got a foreign language film, I think at that point they had changed it to international film, and then original screenplay nomination. But the other 2, I don't think had much traction. And now that I know that it's a part of a trilogy, I need to find those films so I can watch them.
Right. Oh, yeah, I'd be interested. I didn't read like how do they relate to each other.
They're
as a trilogy.
Yeah, they're. I think they're more kind of like spiritual sequels
Rather than
a
connective.
continuation.
Yeah.
Though
Right.
the Anders, the male character, both of his character name in The Worst Person in the World and in the Oslo August 1931 August 31st
Is Axel.
they're both Axel.
Do you think it's the same guy
I don't
or
know.
they
I
just
was
named it
reading
the same?
I was reading the description. I think it's just the same name because it seems like in the other film he plays a recovering drug addict.
Okay.
And they didn't explore that. I mean, other than the mushroom tripping and the
Yeah.
that I completely forgot about.
That wasn't even Axel. That was the other boyfriend.
It was the other guy. It was the other guy. Yeah.
But Axel, now that we're talking about him, I kind of relate to him in a way, kind of being like an artist who doesn't want to change because you have this thing in your head, and I love that he was upset that they got rid of the cat's on his comic strip, and he goes, that's part of the art, that's what made him, and I was just like, that's so funny because really it's not that big a deal, and it probably makes it more sellable as a film, sending it out but
that's his art.
that's his art.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of did you ever play South Park, The Fractured But Whole?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same concept. So they were going to call that video game The Butthole of Time, and Target and Walmart were like, we're not doing that.
Can't sell that.
They're like, you cannot call a video game that. And so Trey Parker got upset and he locked himself in his office, and he's just sitting there and he's just going, butthole, but fractured butthole. And so that's the name of the game.
That's hilarious.
And just it's so funny that in art artists are just weird and temperamental. And,
Yeah.
But that's what makes art. So, that's why, AI is not the same.
Right.
Because it doesn't have that temperamental, nature to it. It's not born from a soul. And I
Right.
think that's where art comes from, is from the soul.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
didn't know we'd get into AI today.
And
but
a little bit of religion.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I loved Axel.
Yeah.
He was such a sweet character.
Yeah.
And something I noticed was when I was watching this, Julie, right? I did not like her at first. And then I realized, wait a minute.
How come?
Because she was, cheating and wishy-washy. And then I was just like, hold on, wait a minute. I think this is the point of the film. And so then I started dialing in, and I was like, hold on. This is not just her. This is everyone. We're all like this. All we did was we zoomed in on an imperfect person. And a lot of other movies, they kind of like sand off the edges of humanity to kind of make it, fit into this little sellable box. But they did not sand off this woman's edges. They showed, her plus side. They showed her flaws. And then, I'm just like, who am I, to judge this person, cast the first stone, as they say.
Right.
And then it kind of got me thinking, I should rewatch 500 Days of Summer, because I hated her.
Yeah.
And I watched that when I was 20 years old. I think I had just gotten divorced. And so this...
There was some stuff going on.
Yeah. So this, this woman character, I painted her as an antagonist, and I never went back, and I had never watched that movie again. And this movie kind of got me thinking, oh, these are human beings.
Yeah.
And human beings sometimes do bad things, but human beings also sometimes do really good things. And you cannot just write off someone because of, the one bad thing you see when they do 500 good things.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so...
So why do you think he named it the worst person in the world?
I watched a video about this. Did you?
I did not, but I have an idea on why.
Yeah.
I think it's it's I guess maybe like an indictment on how we as a society have deem women who do not want a traditional life. In that, because she's like, as you're watching the film, like, yeah, she does some, she cheats, and she does these things that aren't great things, but everybody is doing those things. And because she doesn't want children, she doesn't really want to get married, she just wants to kind of focus on her career. I think there's a big just negative concept around that, where it's just like, oh, she's a terrible person, she doesn't want to have a family, she doesn't want to raise kids. So I think that was kind of my takeaway from it.
So it seemed like almost everything about her was she couldn't really commit to anything that was going on in her life. She wanted things, and she wanted to be things. And in fact, even when when the two got together, what's his name?
The second one, Ivan.
No, Axel. Yeah, when Axel and Julie, when they got together, Axel came right out and said, "Listen, we really can't be together. This isn't going to work. There's no point to us pursuing this." And so she went out the door and then turned around and came back. No, wait, we can do this.
Yeah. And
then in the end, it didn't work. And after he fell in love with her and everything. But so, yeah, it's kind of like none of the careers that she wanted, she couldn't commit to anything. And the people that she wanted to be with, she couldn't commit to them. And so I was kind of wondering if I couldn't figure out exactly why the worst person in the world, but maybe if you're just looking at it kind of at this surface thing of what this woman is putting people through, you might think, oh man, she's a really bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I think too, it's like an internalized kind of like, because Ivan at one point the narrator says that he felt like the worst person, or it wasn't quite the title of the movie, but basically he felt like the worst person in the world because he didn't feel like he was giving enough to his girlfriend, who had discovered that she has Sami ancestry, and she goes on the whole like save the planet thing, and he's like. He felt terrible that he couldn't
Right.
commit to that.
So I watched a video with Joachim Trier, and he said that the title came from a chapter that was actually excised from the final script. So there was going to be another chapter called "The Worst Person in the World,"
okay.
and that wasn't the title of the movie. That was just the title of that chapter. And there's a scene where she's looking at herself in the mirror, contemplating everything that has happened so far. And she's just looking at herself, and she takes some time to just really stare into her soul. And she says to herself, I'm the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
And
So this is how she feels.
this is how she feels about herself.
Yeah.
And so he said that the scene never got filmed. He said that compared to everything else, it was just kind of cheesy. And so then they renamed the movie The Worst Person in the World. And that scene that was supposed to happen got cut, and all of its subtext was dispersed throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So even though we're watching her do these horrible things, it's not us calling her
Right.
the worst person in the world. It's herself
How she sees
calling
herself.
her the worst person in the world.
I really liked the chapter thing also. I like it when movies do that for some reason. So I like these types of movies,
And you hate books.
but I don't like to read. Right, exactly.
Reading
But-
takes a lot more time, right?
right.
Like unless you're a speed reader, which
Yeah.
I'm not, it takes.
I'll just wait
months
for
to
the
finish
movie
a
to
book.
come out, and now I got to
Yeah.
read the movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm planning shots in my head when I'm reading a book,
Right,
and that's
yeah.
why it takes so long.
Yeah.
But I like it when movies do stuff like that, where they break up things into chapters like that. I think that's kind of cool. The other scene that I absolutely loved, but I didn't really understand why, is we were watching a movie about relationships and this girl going through life and trying to make some decisions and stuff. And it was, kind of a drama. And then all of a sudden, she's able to freeze time.
Yeah, I had a thought on my it didn't really occur to me the first time I watched it, but today when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, I think I understand what this is now. I think it was just a fantasy between her and Ivan, and that they were both having this fantasy of being together with each other. So I think
Right.
it didn't really happen. It just happened in both of their minds.
Time
We just see
didn't
it from
really
her.
freeze.
Right.
But this is kind of how, in their minds, everything around them just stopped.
Yeah.
And it was just them.
Yeah.
But we got to see it from our vantage point as everything stopped.
It reminded me of Big Fish.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
there's a scene where
Yeah, I love that.
what's his name?
He sees the girl across
Yeah. And the circus.
Albert Finney with his
Yeah.
like deep barrel chested narration. Now, when they say that you see the love of your life, time stands still for a sec.
Yeah.
What they don't tell you is that it speeds back up to catch up.
Yeah.
That's Big Fish is a good movie too.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
awesome.
Big Fish.
That's an ugly cry movie.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the I need a good cry movies that I'll just put on and just like weep.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think that was maybe kind of because she flicks off the light and then everything's frozen, and I think it's just her kind of like. I think what we're not seeing, because I think they're showing us what's going on in her mind and what she wishes would happen in her life, and then she runs and finds Ivan, and then he's doing the same thing. We're just not seeing it from his perspective. But I think when she turns that light off, what she's wanting to like, what the unseen part is her like deciding, I I can't be with him anymore. I would rather be with him. So then when she gets back to it, and turns the light back on, then they have the breakup.
Nice. Also, I guess it could be a possibility that she flips the switch. None of those things, all of this was just in her head.
Yeah.
She's still just standing in the kitchen. She's making this decision, but this is how the decision is playing out in her mind.
Yeah.
And then she, turns the light back on and we move on.
She never left the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a really cool way to show it. That it was very interesting, the camera work and how they decided to portray this and take it and stick it in a movie that's just kind of a normal drama.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you got this magic type stuff happening.
I've noticed that, I've only seen Worst Person in the World and Sentimental Value, but there is sort of a fantastical element in both of them. I noticed in Sentimental Value, it opens up with the cracking and the of the
I'm going to have to watch
house.
It's a father and daughter movie.
Did you rent it?
I did. Yeah.
Is it still available?
I don't know. I can't remember if Amazon gives you 48 hours to watch it until you finish it. And then I think if you finish it, it's done. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I really like both of the films. The Worst Person in the World for me is one of my top 10 favorite films. It's, in my opinion, about as close to perfection as you can get in a film.
Really?
I don't know what it was about it. I just absolutely loved it. And then I still really liked Sentimental Value. I didn't love it quite as much though, but
Really? I'm flipped.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah.
It was kind of funny for me when Tabor sent me, when we're looking for guests and stuff, and I'm always talking to Tabor, you have people in the film industry, who can we get over here? Let's talk to somebody. And your name, he sent me your name, Chance, right? And then he sent the director's name, and then he put the worst person in the world. This is the message that I got. And I thought, okay, so is the guest the worst person in the world? Or
That's his title.
we need to talk to him.
Chance Furstinger, the worst person in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. He's royalty. It's like a czar or like a
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you gave me that one, and so I sent him that, and I didn't see his reaction, but I know that when I sent him the second film, he's like, okay, we got to do two.
Yeah. I know, and I just
gotta read two of them.
Because when I was going through the podcast to see kind of who you guys had already talked about, because initially I was like Ari Aster, and then I was like, oh, they already did Ari Aster, and then I was like, oh, let's talk about Joachim Trier, and then a week or so later, Sentimental Value gets a bunch of Oscar nominations. I was like, well, let's throw that in there too.
Right. And so the thing is that we are kind of on this teeter-totter right now of changing how we do this show. And we've always done two movies. Mm-hmm. And so a couple times recently we've done one. And so we've been sitting down thinking, well, should we still do two?
Well, the other thing we were doing also is we really started out kind of focusing on the director. I wanted to focus on the director more.
Yeah.
And give more about them. The problem I've been running into is I don't find a ton of information about the director.
Right.
And then it's like, well, this is where they were born and this is their parents' name. And, and they liked these movies. Okay, on to the movies.
And, when you look at Steven Spielberg, there's just so much on him that you can kind of see his life and kind of see how his life has influenced his filmmaking. Mm-hmm. But when there's people who have 3 sentences and they, he's Norwegian and he was born, that doesn't give us a lot to go off of, how has his life influenced their filmmaking.
Now, there were several movies that influenced him that I thought was kind of cool, and several of them were from the U.S. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. That influences a lot of people.
Annie Hall.
Oh. Haven't seen it yet.
Goodfellas. And Vertigo were 4 that he listed as these really influenced the way I want to write, make movies.
That's quite a quite a spread.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not like a meat tray. That's like a couple pieces of meat here, some cheese, some fruit. I mean, just like a whole charcuterie board of movies.
Yeah.
His,
Now I'm hungry.
Whatever. I'll take your word for it.
I read that like a big inspiration for the way that he shoots his films is Ingmar Bergman, where it's those really tight shots on the actor, and he says it's paraphrasing here, but it's like you. When we're having a conversation in real life, we tend to not maintain eye contact with the person that we're talking
Right.
to. Whereas
It almost
with
gets
these,
uncomfortable.
Yes, that's exactly the word he used. Is that it's like when when there's such close-ups and you're just kind of forced to stare at this person.
Right.
It becomes uncomfortable, and it's such like we get so much, I think, from the actors with those close-ups, and they're
Right.
just like, a lot of the times it's just silence, and they're not saying it, they're just looking at each other, but you can tell, you know exactly what they're going through.
Right.
And I haven't seen a ton of Ingmar Bergman films.
I don't know if I've seen any. It might be one of those instances where you name one and I'll be like,
Right.
okay, I've seen that. But off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Because I kind of have like a, not only do I have like the foreign film barrier, I kind of have like a time barrier too, where like a couple 60s films here and there, but almost everything for me is 70s up.
Yeah.
I don't venture too far into the 50s.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a silent. No, I've seen Nosferatu. That's the only silent film I've seen. But yeah, so it kind of affects. And Ingmar Bergman was
He was
50s and 60s.
I think like 60s and 70s.
Really?
I think there was Cries and Whispers, I think, is the only one that I've seen that I think was 72.
Okay.
And that's a gorgeous film. I think it's
Okay.
Cries and Whispers.
Cries and Whispers.
I'm like second
I like
guessing
how you
myself.
whispered that also.
I know, yeah.
For effect.
Seventh Seal. I've heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of I have not
That's
seen
57. So Cries and
So he's-
Whispers,
yes.
72. So he's kind of got a span,
it. Yeah.
which, that's impressive. People making movies for decades and gives you a chance to evolve and change. And
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about him on the show one of these days.
Sure.
So I was looking at kind of like the themes and stuff that he has in his films, and there wasn't really in The Worst Person in the World, but the other two films in the Oslo trilogy, and then in Sentimental Value, there's a lot of characters that had a failed attempt at suicide. And then this one was in The Worst Person in the World, and also in Sentimental Value, of just like two characters like laying in bed, and then just one of them, like just a close-up shot of one person looking at the other person.
Right.
There were a lot of other ones too that I was like, oh yeah, those are like interesting, just things that you just bring back into.
Yeah, these are almost like just normal things.
Yeah.
Like if a couple was laying in bed and the guy's looking at the girl, right? These are just normal things.
Yeah.
And they're capturing it on film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like so much about his filmmaking style, is that they're I don't know that I would necessarily say they're a slice of life, but kind of.
Yeah.
But
It's almost like that.
Yeah, it's almost like that. And normally, like with a slice of life film, I'm like, this needs to be a short film. I can't do this for a feature length film. But there's something about both of these films that I'm just very taken with, and I think a big part of it is the writing and the acting.
Yeah.
So a lot of his stuff is just really focused on just relationship.
Yeah,
That's the driving force of
Yeah.
just these little normal, everyday, this is, what's going on in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, the slice of life film kind of, I think where these differ is that this clearly does have a plot
Right.
that is threading through, and you have a character who starts one place and ends
Yeah.
another place. I think the slice of life films don't move as fluidly as these do. And a good slice of life film, there's still character growth, but it kind of happens in like these small, like unconnected vignettes.
Yeah.
And so this happens, and like I don't know if you ever saw the Florida Project.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that one.
I did too. I love that. I
Yeah,
loved it so much.
but that's kind of like a slice of life film
Yeah.
where you don't really realize that there's a plot until kind of the end of the movie, and
Right.
you're like, okay, I see where this is going. So
Oh, that taught me something.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was doing that, but
yeah.
Oh, another one of his overarching themes is that there's always a return to the childhood house, and especially in Sentimental Value, that's a big point of the plot. But then also in The Worst Person in the World, when she takes Axel back to his, and they don't go in, but they just stay out on the thing.
Well,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Axel getting sick. It was, kind of when someone gets cancer in movies, you kind of see a lot of the characters like, all right, I have cancer. I've come to terms with this. And then they die. And it was kind of, I don't know if I want to say refreshing, but watching a character who blatantly says, I'm afraid to die. Like,
Yeah.
I am not okay with this. He said something that really hit me. Something about
I wrote it down.
I look to the past because I know that I don't have a future. Something like that.
Yeah.
I wrote down, I think, in that same line, or in that same scene where he says, I don't want to be a voice in your head. I don't want to live on through my art. That's such a just a human thing to say, which is like, I'm dying and I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to live on through my art. I
Yeah.
want to live in my flat.
Yes.
I want to live in my flat with you.
With you. Yep. Yeah.
And I was like, good grief.
Yeah.
And, that I think is what cancer really is like. It's not wrapped up with a nice little bow like it is in so many movies. I think that this is what it really looks like for a lot of people. There's only two ways you can go with it, really, is, you have the fear of, that this is the end, or you cook meth and you die in a shootout with a bunch of tweakers.
I'm doing the meth thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was really sad. And Axel was such a character that I loved so much. And it was so sad just watching him decline. And, it kind of felt like I was losing a friend at the
Yes.
end. And
Yeah.
it was really weird that I had such an attachment to this character.
Yeah.
So who was the second guy? She had an affair with.
Ivan.
Oh, Ivan. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Ivan. Okay, I do have him written down. So at the end of the movie, by the end of it, we see. I can't remember exactly what happens, but she sees Ivan out a window
Yeah.
with somebody, and they've got a baby, and they're moving on with their lives, right? And I think Axel has died at this point,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And is she living back with her mom? Is that where she was at?
I don't think so.
Or does
I
she
think
have
she
her
has her
own-
own place at this point.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
she's got her own apartment or her own flat.
Yeah.
But it seemed like visually there was a change, like almost like she had come to some realizations, some epiphanies, and grown up a little bit. And so, it was almost like I was watching a different character then. So do you think that that's at the end, it just kind of ended with that, right? It's just her and
Yeah.
yeah.
My take on it was that it was like she's finally committed to something, which is her photography. She's like realized this is what I want to do. I want to be a photographer. So she's, a photographer for this film. And then when she sees Ivan out with the baby, like she kind of had like what I took from it. She has this like look of she's happy for him. But she's also happy for herself, and she's okay with the fact that that happiness isn't together.
Yeah, and there was also, I think, some vindication for her.
Yeah.
She thought she was the worst person in the world because she kept changing and doing all these things, and everyone else around her kind of seemed to be set in stone. And Ivan said over and over, I do not want kids. I do not, And then in the end, he changed. So she's like, oh, I was giving myself such a hard time for changing and growing, and everyone else around me appeared to be set in their ways. And so I made myself feel bad. But then look, here's this guy who is doing the exact opposite of what he told me he was going to do. And so it was kind of a little vindication on her side as well.
Yeah. And I just loved all of the characters so much. Like they just felt like very just fleshed out human beings, and just as an actor, like one of the things that I try to do, and when I'm directing, what I tell the actors is to just justify all of your actions, even if it's like the most heinous thing in the world. You have to justify it, otherwise why are you doing it? Right. There's got to be a reason why you as the character are doing that thing.
How are you going to sell it if you don't even know?
Right. Yeah. Right. If you're like, oh, this is vile, then it's you're not going to if you can trigger something in the audience of like, oh yeah, no, they're right. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute. No, that was a terrible thing that they did. But that's the mark of a good actor, I think, when they can do something that's bad, but then still like get the audience on their side. And I was so on the side of everybody in this film. They just were so well-rounded and just so grounded in not only their own like emotional life, but in the emotional lives of who they were sharing the screen with.
Right. Who were the people that they went and stayed at the house for a while? There was an older couple.
It was his family, right?
Was it at the beginning of the film?
Yeah.
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 By the way, you want some Coke? I got you some Coke.
He's not talking about the snort kind.
Oh, excellent. In a bottle, too.
In a bottle, yeah. Anyways, the who were those people? I can't remember.
I thought they were like either relatives of his, or they were just like his friends that all had, because there was a line that they said where it was like Axel was upset that she wasn't even trying to engage with the kids.
Right.
And then he said something about like all of his friends have kids and stuff, and he thought he would have kids at this point or something like that. So it made me think that they were his friends who all had children, and maybe he was getting some pressure to have kids from them. Yeah.
When I was watching, I kind of thought it was like his parents and his brother. That's what it seemed like to me. But I don't think I got a clear answer.
But I thought that was fun. I loved that whole scene at the place and stuff, and the older guy dancing around and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
I don't think I noticed it the first time, but this time around when they're laying in bed and they can hear the couple arguing.
Oh yeah.
And she just is like trying really hard not to laugh, and is like, it'd be really inappropriate to laugh right now. These are his friends or these are his family members, but she's just like, she really wants to, and I really enjoyed that. That was just like, she's like, oh, this is.
Well, I think the day before they were trying to be quiet because they were fighting, right?
Yeah. So now she's like, and I think too, maybe that's something of like, oh yeah, no, like all couples fight, right? At some point, they all, we all have disagreements with each other, especially when it's somebody that we're living with.
It's hard being, it's part of being two different human beings, and forcing yourself to, be together. Well, maybe not forcing yourself to be together, but you have two different thoughts and opinions, and to assume that those would never clash is naive. That's gonna happen.
Right. Well, and they didn't even really know each other that well. They kind of got into that relationship and just away we went. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, something that I really, I think maybe this is why this film resonated so much with me is that this is kind of an anti-rom-com, where it's like they're,
wait a minute. Hold on a second. I just remembered reading something. Hold on. The film has been referred to as the rom-com for people who hate rom-coms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I mean, it's like, I feel like it's indicative of just kind of how we grow up and how we perceive what a relationship is supposed to look like when
Right.
we're watching rom-coms, of just like, oh, it's got to be this way. So we get this like idealized, like perfect version
This is
of
the
that.
perfect,
And that's
right.
like, we inadvertently, I think we hold our partner to the standard of what a rom-com is.
Very much so. Oh yeah.
So then like, and this film I think is actively working against that, to be like, while still calling attention to the fact where it's like they're internalizing a lot of what their ideas are on how the relationship should look and everything, and then kind of beating themselves up for the way that they react to things.
Well, what they're showing is much more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. I mean, I've been in some relationships that are some of the things that we saw in this movie, and then of course, I'm in a good relationship now, but I've had those bad ones.
Right.
I've had some that ended up being boring. I had some that were exciting but toxic, and then and that's very, very real. And you're right. The rom-com gives us this nice polished little stone and tells us that this is what romance is.
Yeah.
Or this is what relation. So I'm not going to say romance. I'm going to say relationships. But really, it's more jagged. There's more edges, and it's not necessarily this shiny stone, but there's imperfections and stuff. And we're running into this a lot on TikTok also, where people are making these videos about what relationships are, and everyone's like, oh well, I saw this thing on TikTok, and this is not what I have, and it creates these unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things that are Fallon was like, hey, you're gonna get me a boo basket? I was like, what's a boo basket? And she said, well, everybody's husbands on TikTok are getting their wives boo baskets for Halloween. And I was just like, that's not a thing. You made that up. And then she's like, well, if you're not going to get me a boo basket, I'll go get one. I was like, well, go get yourself a boo basket, I guess. Like, I don't know. This is something I've never even heard of. So, but yeah, rom-coms do the same thing. They create this unrealistic expectation, and we can't get mad at the rom-com because that's kind of what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an entertaining thing. It's definitely not something you're supposed to, mold your life to.
Right.
Like, I love The Godfather, but I'm not going to go join the mafia and, go drop Luca Brasi in the river somewhere,
But and then just like, because I like rom-coms too, but just like rewatching some rom-coms that I grew up on, it's like, oh no, these are awful characters. these are the worst people. Where it's just like they're all like, there's subterfuge. They're all like just cheating on each other constantly and just like not communicating with each other. And it's like, but then there's the happy ending, and at the end, and it's like, no, these people should not be together.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I think again, that's one of the things that I loved so much about The Worst Person in the World is that like they don't end up together. She doesn't end up with either of them.
Yeah. She doesn't have anyone at the end.
Yeah, and she's content with it.
Yeah. And there's no problem.
But there again, there's the realistic look at life is that's probably in reality. Yeah, you don't end up always with the perfect little tied knot thing, So she had a lot of growing to do, and if she was going to be with somebody, I think that it wasn't going to help her as a character and as a person find out who she was and what she was about. It was just going to be turmoil while she was,
Right.
in a relationship with somebody else. So, yeah, in the end, I think it's better that she didn't, and now she can start to develop herself. Yeah.
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 Something that I was like trying to figure out when I watched Sentimental Value, and then again when I watched The Worst Person in the World Today. Moving from strictly an actor into filmmaking, I just find myself honing in on all the details and everything. And what I found interesting is his color palettes tend to be very white and black and brown,
Oh, yeah.
with little splashes of color. And something that I noticed this time. Let's see, which scene was it? It was it was chapter 4 when it's her birthday and they're with her family. Her and her family were all in blue and Axel was wearing black. And then in the next scene, when Axel's talking about the cartoon and they're making it into the movie and how he's upset about it,
Right.
he's wearing blue and everybody else is wearing black. And I was like, what was the reason for that?
Right. That switch, the significance
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Huh.
And what's funny is that doesn't color palettes and costume colors and all that stuff is very, very important, but the audience almost never realizes that it's having an effect on them. So it almost kind of feels like, what's the
But it
freaking
does.
point? Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
It's psychological and
Right.
you don't.
It's just like if you don't have music in your movie. Without the music, maybe you don't realize the music is playing and pushing it along. But if you took it out, oh, yeah, what's wrong with this?
Yeah. I ran into that with Bigfoot Falls.
Right.
Was that in the edit, there was this scene, and I was like, okay, yeah, there's some emotion behind it, but then when you add the music, it changes.
Right.
Yeah.
It changes everything.
I probably didn't notice that switch because I was too busy trying to read to really notice anything.
Yeah. And I think when I first watched it, I think I didn't catch it because I was, but having been familiar with the story, I was kind of able to take in a lot
You're
more.
picking up on other things now.
Yeah.
Because you can miss a couple
Right.
of lines once you know the plot.
Yeah.
If you don't know the plot, you have to catch every single line so you don't miss a thing.
Right.
Yeah. And then also in the at the end of the film when she's visiting Axel at the hospital, there were they're in the cafeteria and there's the oranges and the green apples, and then in the next scene it cuts to them outside and the facade of the hospital is like a pale orange and then there's the green grass. And then again they cut back to his room and there's it's mostly white, but there's little green and orange stickers that are on the machinery, and it's
Right.
it's just such an interesting as we're shifting to different points in her life, the color palette is shifting.
One of the scenes that I really struggled with was she had done the drugs, and then the scene where she was like the older woman and naked. That was rough. I don't know. That was just
It's a weird.
I
just
completely
bizarre.
forgot about that scene.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I forgot that this happens. But it was it was a really interesting scene where it's just she's she's old, her body's old, and but then she's giving birth, and then there's the audience around laughing at her, and it's just it's a really interesting because I've never done mushrooms myself, but I imagine
we'll cut. You can admit it. We'll cut it out.
but yeah, I
cut that.
but I feel I know people that have, and they, you kind of have that cerebral sort of experience where it's
Right.
you're, what is it, where it's very existential, just experience that you have.
Well, she. I'm wondering if what came out in that was this is her idea of what motherhood was going to turn her into or create.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to be a mom. She didn't want to have, kids. And in her head, this is what kids do to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have a friend named Jay Nelson who was a stand-up comedian, professional wrestler.
Yeah, I know Jay. I did
you?
Boise's Funniest Person with him
Yeah?
in 2016.
Yeah, he's great. I love Jay. Which I want to get into your blood feud with Eric Cole eventually. I want to know what's going on there.
That's another podcast.
Yeah. But Jay, he is a avid psychedelics user, and he told me one of the neatest things ever. I didn't know this. He said that he's done shrooms and he's done acid, and he said that shrooms is like your mom. She's going to tell you what you need to hear, but she'll be gentle about it, and she'll kind of ease you into the lesson that you need to learn. Uh-huh. And he said that acid is like your dad, that he'll be very stern and like, you need some tough loving, and I'm not going to be gentle about it. You need to get this sorted out. And I was like, that's such a weird thing to have happen. And I was like, that's pretty freaking fascinating.
Now you've just narked on Jay. I hope you know that.
There's so many Jay Nelsons, they'll never catch him. But yeah, I thought that was, and it's relevant to the movie, so
Sure.
it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. But
So we want to move on to the other one?
yeah, let's do
I
it.
didn't watch it, but you guys...
Before we do that, I just
Yes.
have one last thing.
Talk to me.
Sorry, I just love this movie so much.
Okay. It's not about Eric Cole.
No, it's not about Eric Cole. No, he doesn't deserve the.
Doesn't deserve the shout out. Doesn't deserve the attention.
The two sunrise scenes. The first one we see when she freezes time and her and Ivan are in the park and the sun rises, but then she watches the sunrise alone at the end of the film after getting the news that Axel's not going to make it through the night.
It's beautiful.
And it's such a just like both of them are the end of her relationship with Axel.
Yeah.
And the first one she spends it with somebody else, and then the second one she's just alone and just like kind of processing her grief. And then as the sun rises, it's like she's like, he's gone, it's over, it's done.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
It's the acceptance.
Yeah.
The start of a new day.
Yeah.
Both of these movies were shot on film.
Okay.
I noticed it almost immediately. I was like, this feels different. And so I looked it up, and of course it was shot on film, and I was like, gosh, this is so beautiful.
Super 8?
No. No. Probably Super 35.
Okay.
You got the Super right.
Yeah.
But it was shot on film, and I don't know. I have some people who tell me that you absolutely cannot tell the difference between film and digital, and I think that in some cases the audience member is not going to be able to tell the difference.
The normal audience, yeah, maybe not. There are a lot of directors who are pretty adamant about that there's a big difference.
And I think what's going on is, as a filmmaker, I could be like, oh, this is film. Oh, this is digital. But I think for the audience, it's not like that. It's like the color palette.
Yeah.
Where you don't notice what's going on, but subconsciously you feel something that's different.
Right.
And so, seeing this film, and I was like, oh man, this looks so nice.
I usually look for the little holes on the side
The sprockets.
of the film. Yeah, I look
Yeah.
for those, and then I can tell.
You don't see them very, very often, do you?
Every once in a while, they creep in.
a little cigarette burn in the corner.
Right.
So, yeah. Moving on to the next
Sentimental
number.
Value.
Sure.
Now this one's not
Stellan
as
Skarsgård.
fresh in my mind because I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But again, I really I love Joachim Trier's style. It's so compelling to watch.
Yeah.
So the first one was a relationship, this girl, and a relationship with herself and then people around her. Mm-hmm. Is this one more a relationship with family?
Yeah, it's all about her her and her sister's relationship with their father. Who,
Okay.
It was interesting that both films end on a film set.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
right.
like, oh. But he's in Sentimental Value. He's a like famous Swedish or Norwegian director.
Yeah.
And it's Renata Reinsve again. She is she's mostly a theater actor. So the film opens with her having a hard time being able to go out on stage because she's got PTSD and just is having a hard time going out on stage. And
Yeah.
I just like her tearing off her costume. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is so.
Yeah. So the dad is a director, she's a stage actor, and the younger sister was an actor one time in his most famous movie. And
When she was a child.
When she was a child. And since then, she hasn't done anything since. She's moved on. What did she do? I remember her.
She was
A historian. She was
yeah.
So she like completely put that, part of her life behind her. And the dad writes a screenplay, and he wants his daughter to be in the movie. And
The one that left it all behind.
no, the older daughter,
okay.
who is currently an actress.
Okay.
The younger daughter plays into it because he wrote a part for a younger character, and he wants her son to be. So the youngest daughter has a son, and he wants the son to be in the movie, and he wants his oldest daughter to be in the movie also.
Okay.
And they don't have a very good relationship. Very tense. The mom and the dad got divorced, and he went off and did his thing. And I think the movie doesn't quite start with it, but very early on, they have a funeral for the mom. And the dad comes back into their life and, is trying to rekindle things.
Trying to be a dad again.
Yeah.
But then it seems like what his motivation is to even be there is to give her this script to do this film.
Yeah. So that's what she thinks is just like, that's the only reason he's around. And I think he gets the house when the mom passes away, the house reverts to him, and he's going to use it as a set. So that's another thing too, is that she's upset that he's getting the house. And
He's turning the house into a set.
the only reason he wants it is for this movie. The only reason he wants to be in her life is for the movie. The only reason he wants to be in the grandson's life is for the movie. And of course, there is that element to it. I do not think that they are wrong. There's just a little more to it than each of them thinks.
Yeah.
And Stellan Skarsgård plays the dad. Oh, there's this scene in the movie where it's young Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Did they de-age him?
I think they
Because
did.
I couldn't. I
Yeah.
can see the digital footprint anywhere.
Yeah.
I was just like, did they shoot this scene like 50 years ago
Right,
and
yeah.
save it?
Yeah.
Because it looks.
It looks really
Let's
good.
hold on to this. We might use this
Yeah.
50 years from now.
Well, I mean, they did that one movie. I don't remember if you guys remember the title of it, but it was a movie that they had filmed over the course of like 25 years. And they started with this little kid.
So it was Boyhood?
Maybe.
Was it with Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette?
Maybe. But they would keep checking in with them every couple of years and keep getting footage.
Film something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you were actually watching this person age, realistically rather
Right.
than trying to de-age him or whatever. There's so many interesting ways to make movies. There's that one movie with, what's his name? John Malkovich that they shot and locked in a vault, and it's going to be there for 100 years.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know about this.
it's like a promotion for like a whiskey or something.
Yeah.
Or like a champagne, and the champagne has to age for 100 years, so the movie is put into a vault for 100 years, and no one's going to see it for the next 100 years.
Huh.
Yeah. There's so many cool things you can do. And, I think that's one of the reasons why I like Joachim Trier is because he has so much authorship over his films. There's just so many things that you can do that someone would tell you not to do, but he just does them.
Yeah.
Like not to go back to the previous film, but the little drumming sequence when he's in the hospital playing the drums. That's such a weird thing to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like such a different tone, but he's just like, I'm doing it. And
it had some value in the movie.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. And, as a producer, I'd be like, hey, listen, this doesn't match the tone of what you're doing here. But, he did it anyway. So, yeah, I think this one was my favorite for sure. I think...
Of the two?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think parent relationships are a very strong source of inspiration for me. Particularly in films because, obviously I have my dad and my dad's, been in my life for all these years and you just,
And which drug did you say I am?
you're acid.
Okay, I'm acid.
Acid Dad. That's the name of my new album. Acid Dad.
Acid Dad.
So yeah, I think parent relationship movies, especially with fathers, they kind of hit me harder, and I think that's why this one stuck.
Well, Stellan Skarsgård, he's so awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
What a good actor. So, who was the other one?
Elle Fanning.
Fanning. Yeah.
She plays. So I think it's after his daughters turned him down on doing the film that he's at a screening, like a reunion.
It's like a
screening or
10-year
something.
anniversary.
Yeah, 10-year anniversary screening of his most famous film.
They're at a festival.
Yeah. And Elle Fanning is an American actress,
Okay.
and she has a film premiering at the festival, and she watches his film, and so basically he hires her to play the role.
But it kind of has a deeper psychological thing too. It's definitely a surrogate daughter.
Yes.
He puts this onto her, whether she wants it or not, where he's like, all right, I'm going to have you play this character, but he kind of wants her to be his daughter, and he kind of wants
has her
this.
dye her hair to match his.
Yeah, and he wants so he tries to make this relationship with her when it's really the relationship he actually wants with his daughter. And one of the greatest moments in this movie is when he sits down with Elle Fanning and she says, listen, this isn't working. I'm not what you want me to be.
Yeah.
And I can feel, and she's like, and we're doing this movie in English. She's like, don't even try lying to me. I can tell you don't want this movie to be in English,
Yeah.
but you're doing this for me. And they both have this reconciliation of, you're right. This, and he's like, it's very, very mature as an actor to realize you're wrong for the role rather than trying to fit a square peg into a round hole and force yourself into this movie. There's a scene where she's walking through the house with her phone, learning how to do a Norwegian accent so she can learn her lines. So she's learning the lines in English, but learning them with the Norwegian accent. And yeah,
It's but then it's like she's kind of like not supposed to be like the greatest actor in the world, kind of like she's very like just which I think all actors we're all self-conscious, but
Sure.
it's like she doubts her ability, just in general, not just on the film, but she like, especially when they're in the interview scene and the interviewer is like talking about like, are you sad that your film that just came out is getting bad reviews? And then Stellan Skarsgård is like,
what kind of a question is
what
that?
kind of a question is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really, again, there's just such well-rounded characters that, and the thing that I really, really liked about the idea of him casting this other actress and like kind of making her his surrogate daughter, is that if this movie were an American film, there would be so much contention between his actual daughter and this other actress.
Right.
Whereas in the film, there's not. It's like they're like,
She's disconnected.
yeah. And then when they have their scene, it's like, the American audience part of my brain is like, oh, here we go, this is going to be the fight. But then they just have there's no discourse at all in in the conversation that they have.
It's a very, very decent relationship.
Yeah.
They introduce themselves to one another and
So
no
is it-
cattiness. And
Is that where we're seeing the difference in this director and it being a foreign film type of thing? And this is kind of the way that those people treat each other compared to maybe, like you just said,
Yeah.
people, U.S. people are, there's going to be more of a headbutting type
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I'm not like super versed in Norwegian films, but I mean, 'cause, we got there were some couple fights in Worst Person in the World, but they still weren't like, they still kind of ended civilly.
Yeah.
because I don't think the in American films, fighting is the drama.
Yes.
We want the fighting.
Yeah.
But fighting isn't the only source of drama in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to analyze that there's other sources of it and use that in your film is very...
Right.
Yeah. And I think he does such a beautiful job of capturing that in both of these films.
Yeah, even the father and daughter, they don't fight that often, but there's tension throughout the
Yes.
entire movie.
Yeah.
Even when they're not fighting.
Yeah. There's so much that's unspoken that we see on them that they're not telling us, but we can see clearly that they've got this history with each other.
Right.
There's times when they're sitting at the dinner table together, not saying a word to one another.
Yeah.
And you can feel something's not right.
Yeah. That's like our first podcast.
Oh, yeah.
The first podcast was...
we didn't say a word,
30
but you
minutes.
could feel.
Just silent for 30
Just
minutes.
silent.
Yeah. And then just, you can hear 30 minutes in, you could tell that it's dark. You just hear my dad's cigarette just the ash burning. By the way, that's a joke. My dad doesn't smoke.
You're an idiot.
I want to the younger daughter, the actress. Her name's Inga Ibsdottir. What's the last? She's got a second surname.
I didn't write her down.
It's gonna drive me nuts.
We'll pull it up. Sentimental value.
Lilius.
Yeah.
Inga, I probably am butchering that, but
They have so many cool names.
yeah. But the scene with her, I think it's with the older sister on the couch. She has this just incredible, like, because she's very, I feel like the younger sister is very placating, maybe very just like wanting to make sure that everybody is okay, and is like not maybe compromising her own well-being a little bit to make sure that the tensions like diffuse,
Kind of
and
playing
everything.
peacekeeper.
Yeah, peacekeeper. So then she gets this moment with her sister, and it was such a just beautiful moment. And just because it's been a couple of weeks, I cannot for the life of me remember exactly what the details of the scene were, but it was basically like, I think she called her selfish or something. But it was you watched it today. Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
I think I might be thinking of a different one.
Okay.
Because the scene I'm thinking of is when they're laying on the bed together, and she says, "We had the same childhood." Why?
Okay, it is. Yeah.
It's this scene. Yeah, she says, "We had the same childhood. Why am I a mess? And why did you turn out, so good? You have a family. You're stable. Why am I an emotional wreck?"
Right.
And she says, "Well, because I had you."
Yeah.
And it was, this moment of she's stable because of her sister, not because of her dad or the relationship that the mom and the dad had, that
Right.
the sister's what saved her.
So remind me suicide in just a minute.
Oh yes.
You going to do it?
This is it, folks. The time has come.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It is interesting because here's that reality thing that how things really work in life. You have children, and we raise all of our kids kind of all the same way. At least you try to as a parent. But they're all being raised in different times. And, the parents, my wife and I, we're going through different things at different times.
Yeah.
And then they have siblings. Tabor was the first, so he only had Tabor. That's all there was.
Yeah.
And then, the next one comes along, and then the next one. And so each time you're thinking as a parent that you're raising your kids with all the same values, all exactly the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they so different?
Yeah.
Right? But they're not being raised the same. They all have different inputs and values and different things that are happening. And so, you never grow up with the same parents.
Yeah.
I was raised by you and Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Briar was raised by you and Mom and me.
Yeah.
And then he, I had different friends at school.
Right.
I had Becca, who was like a source of, my identity, being friends with her for all those years. And, Briar had the thugs that he hung out with.
All Briar's friends were thugs.
Yeah. And, Alec, being the youngest, had 3 brothers and a sister
Right.
that, changed how his life was.
Right.
And also, another thing, too, is that, you were young and fresh when you raised me.
Yeah, realistically, we were just different people. We were, different parents.
Yeah.
And then as the kids, you always hear, the last kid that comes along. The first kid is you're kind of on them, and you're in their face all the time, and you're making sure everything's okay, and blah blah blah. And then the last kid is like, I don't care. Go play in the street.
Do
Do
whatever.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, because I'm the older child as well. I have a younger sister. And yeah, in that scene, like, I feel like I'm not as put together as my sister is. She's got 3 kids. She's going to school and has somehow maintained a 4.0 GPA with 3 children.
Wow.
And
Shout out to her.
yeah,
Well
so,
done.
Yeah, so I feel like she's got it a lot more together. I feel like than I do. So just that, yeah, like I had you didn't have a you. It was
Yeah.
like, that just like really,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very true. And then at the end of the movie, we'll talk about it. I still want you to watch the movie because I think you'd enjoy it.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, but you find out that the whole script was not him being selfish. It was him kind of apologizing to her.
Right.
In the only way he knew how.
Right.
Yeah.
He's kind of like an emotionally stunted man. And, it reminds me of that scene in the first episode of King of the Hill where Hank is trying to apologize to Bobby and he's like just beating around the bush, and Bobby's like, what? And Hank's like, you're not making this easy on me, boy. And, I'm trying to say I'm sorry, and,
Right.
it's just the way that he knows how.
Right.
And so eventually the sister's like, hey, I read the script. She's like, I think you need to read it.
Yeah.
So the sister reads the script, and she ends up taking the role. And it's really cool because they don't play it off as she took the role at first. You see her making a sandwich for the grandson, and you're like, okay, well, the grandson's over there. I guess her nephew. And then she goes and sends him off to school, and then she goes into the bedroom, and she goes and gets the stool The stool is a funny
Oh
moment.
my gosh, I laughed so hard.
Yeah. So Al Fanning comes over and sees the stool, this little wooden stool sitting in the bedroom, and she goes, "Is that the stool that she used?" Because in the script, he was talking about how his mother killed herself, which is autobiographical. He's writing about his mom. The mom had sent them off to school. She tied a rope around the ceiling and kicked off the stool and hung herself.
Yeah.
I think that's what puts the crack in that room, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he writes that into the script. And so it's kind of autobiographical about him and his mom, but also him and his daughter. And so he meshes these two different lives together into this script. So she walks in and she sees the stool and she goes, "Is that the stool that she used?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's the one." And then the youngest daughter, she's like, "What was she talking about?" He goes, "Oh, I told her that was the stool that my mom used to kill herself." And she's like,
The one from IKEA.
"You talking about that stool you got from IKEA?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's the one." But at the end of the movie, the oldest daughter goes and grabs that stool. And if you pick up on it, you're like, okay, I know what's going on. But if you don't pick up on it, you're like, oh, shoot. Is she at the end? Is she going to do it? Mm-hmm. And then she goes in and she shuts the door. And then you hear, cut. And the dad is behind the camera. And they're filming the movie.
I got you.
And so...
So that was kind of the question about suicide. You had mentioned that a lot of his movies, there is like unrealized suicide or something like that.
And we find out through, I think in that same scene where she's like, "Why am I such a mess?"
the sisters are talking.
The sisters are talking, and
Because she had just read the
the
script.
younger sister had just read the script, and she's like, there's suicide in it, and you find out in that scene that the older sister did attempt suicide.
And she says, Did you tell
him?
Did you tell Dad about this? And she's like, "No, I've never told him anything ever. I just think that deep down, I think he kind of knew."
Yeah.
Right. Huh.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
So we are pushing an hour and 40 minutes
Oh,
on
geez.
this one right now. So, but we'll cut it down a little bit. But
I do want to mention.
I was done talking, I guess. So you go ahead.
It's just going to be a real quick little plug. This is kind of something that Alex started on a previous episode, and I want to do it too. If we ever talk about suicide on the show, I do want to mention that the suicide hotline is 988. If you ever need help, please reach out. There's always someone willing to listen.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
So anyway, you were saying.
I can't remember now because my memory's only about this. So
We were pushing an hour and 40 minutes.
that's right. Okay, he took me back.
We're gonna go through your letterbox before we let you go. I'm just gonna pull up a select few here.
All right.
You gave the new Anaconda film 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me preface real quick.
You need to justify now?
Well, my rating style is like it's different for schlock films versus good prestige films.
Someone who's
right?
going to try and make a good film and it comes out bad.
Yes.
Versus someone who's going out to just make some goofy, silly.
Yeah.
mess.
So like it might be that I rate Anaconda as 4 stars on the premise that it's not intended to be a
Taken
thought-provoking
seriously,
film.
yeah.
It's a goofy film. It's clear they had fun with it. Yeah.
Okay. I can respect that. This one surprises me. One Battle After Another, 3 stars.
Yeah. I am just not a big fan of Paul Thomas Anderson.
Because he abandoned his boy.
So There Will Be Blood is the only one of his films that I love.
I hated it when I first watched it.
Really?
It took me a second watch through
That's so
to
funny.
finally get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Phantom. When I left the theater for Phantom Thread, that was the only time I have left a theater absolutely irate.
Really?
I was so angry.
Really? I haven't seen that one yet.
I was so mad.
He's still going to therapy.
And like, I will say, I liked one battle after another. I felt like it was. It did what it wanted to do.
I don't think it was worth the hype.
No,
That's for sure.
Yes, agreed. And it's probably going to win Best Picture, and it's number 10 on my Best Picture list.
I think it's important politically.
Yeah.
I think it very much. I think that might be another reason too, is that we are so politically charged as a country right now.
Yeah.
I think it was the message that people
Yeah.
needed and wanted to
And
hear.
it's like politically bombastic.
Yeah.
Ooh, bombastic.
And my big issue with it was the conceit that Leo can't remember the passwords. He's been so stressed out and ingraining in his daughter's head all the things that she needs to do, and yet he's smoked away all of his memories for the passwords. I was like, wouldn't you think he would just not care at all about any of it and completely forget everything? But that's the conceit of the film, to pad the runtime so that we have some, he's got to find his daughter. That was my big issue
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. I liked it enough.
Yeah.
I'd say I might give it another half star
Yeah.
than you did, but let's see here. Sinners, 3.5 stars.
What?
You gave that 3.5 stars.
Did I?
Who made the complaint?
Out of what?
Out of 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
That's what Letterboxd uses.
What? I gave Sinners 3.5?
Yeah, that's what it says.
You were hacked.
Meandered a lot for the first half, and the overall
no, I gave it
narrative.
5 on mine. Are you looking at the right one?
Sorry, did I say Sinners?
Yeah.
My bad. That's why we're having a disconnect. That's why we're having a disconnect. I meant to say Weapons.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
weapons.
That stands.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I loved
Good.
it.
I liked it.
What Aunt Gladys was what I wanted the whole film to be. So by the time she showed up, I was like, thank God.
Yeah. It's kind of like Longlegs.
Yeah.
Where Nicolas Cage and what's her name? I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue from
yeah.
It Follows. Mm-hmm. They're in 2 different movies.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing we have with Julia Garner
Yeah.
and Aunt Gladys.
Yeah.
Is that they're in 2 different movies.
And I think I would have, I'm not a big fan of the vantage point storytelling.
The chapters and
Yeah.
then overlapping stuff when you see it from the character's point of view. And
yeah.
I don't mind that at all. I like that.
It's fine if it's done a couple of times, but when it's the whole movie, I'm like, all right, come on, let's just get to the point.
It does drag out a little bit, but then when it brings it back home with Alex's story, I'm like, okay, that saves it.
Yeah.
And then the last one I want to look at is this one's for you, Dad.
Talk to me, Bubba.
Here's to you, Dad.
Am I about to never be invited back to the podcast?
No. I think this is something that he'd agree on. Eternity,
Oh, yeah.
4.5 stars
Yes.
out of 5.
Great show.
I really liked it.
Haven't seen it yet, but
loved it so much.
apparently he really, really liked it.
Yeah. But it's kind of along the same lines of what we're talking about right now. I like the emotion movies. I like the connection movies, the relationship stuff.
Yeah.
So these are all kind of along that
Yeah.
type of thing. Yeah.
So I'm going to find out if any of our future guests have Letterboxd because I liked doing this. I liked.
So let's letterbox the what we did tonight.
Okay. 1 out of 5.
Yeah. Usually we come up with something stupid, but let's just keep it simple on this one.
Yeah. Are you going to read your letterbox or are you going to rate it
Oh,
differently?
you already got it?
Let's see if I actually put a review.
He's rating
if
it
I
right
just-
now.
Yeah. So while he's pulling that up, what would you give it, Dad?
So I'm only going to letterbox the one.
Okay.
And I would, out of 5, and we can do halves.
We can do halves.
I would, realistically, I would probably give this a 4 out of the 5. Not because I had to read it. I didn't like that. That's probably why it lost a lot. But I understand it's a foreign film. But I liked how they drove the story and the characters and how they related to each other and kind of where they went with it. I really enjoyed that. And then I really enjoyed what they did with some of the scenes, like the pausing everybody and these types of things. I think those are really cool ways to get, something across to people. So that's what I liked about it.
Okay, so I would give worst person in the world.
Yeah.
I sometimes call it world's worst person.
Yeah.
I mix it up a bit.
Because that's the line that Ivan has, or the narrator has talking about Ivan. He felt like the world's worst person.
It's not at world's end. It's the world's end.
You definitely messed that one up. When this podcast starts getting 10 listeners, I'm really going to hear it.
Yeah. Then we're getting some hate mail.
Yeah. I would give worst person in the world 4 stars. And I would give, I just lost the title.
Sentimental value.
Sentimental value. I don't know why I had the words under surveillance in my head.
That's next week's show.
Yeah. Sentimental value. I'd give that one 4.5. I would give that one the extra star. You would probably reverse those, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Sentimental value is a 4 for me. And then worst person in the world is a 5.
Nice.
Oh.
It's a near perfect film for me.
I don't give out very many 5s.
Yeah. I probably give too many 5s.
Really? Really? Okay.
You get a 5. You get a 5.
I've given The Godfather a 5, and I've given Apollo 18 a half.
Yeah.
Not Apollo 13.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Apollo 18.
We love you, Tom
I've
Hanks.
definitely given several films half a star because you can't log a 0.
Yeah, no, you have to you have to give it something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we ready to get on out of here?
Yeah. I gotta take a shower. I gotta get ready for work.
Sounds good.
So,
You going to work tonight?
well, no, but eventually I'm going to.
I will work at some point. All right.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Let's get on out of here.
Hit it. And we're gone.
Donkey gin. Yeah, I don't know. I'm out.
Thanks for listening to My Dad's Movie Podcast. We had a lot of fun creating it, and we hope you enjoyed it.
For more content, please check us out at Facebook and YouTube at My Dad's Movie Podcast, or visit our website, mydadsmoviepodcast.com.
And always, if you'd like to help support us, please check out our Patreon at My Dad's Movie Podcast.
Thanks for listening, everybody.